Despite a U.S. Supreme Court ruling in favor of Mike and Chantel Sackett, the couple is still battling the EPA, believe it or not. This nightmare started over 5 years ago when the Sacketts bought a small piece of property in Priest Lake, Idaho, hoping to build their dream home. The EPA seized their property, claiming it was wetlands, threatening fines up to $75,000 a day. Now, despite the Supreme Court ruling in March, which found the Sacketts have a right to judicial review, the EPA hasn't backed down an inch. An EPA official recently commented on the case, saying the ruling will have little effect on the EPA. And that, quote, internally, it's same old concerning its enforcement policy. Senator James Inhofe, leading a group of 16 Republican senators, sent a letter to EPA Administrator Lisa Jackson on the 24th of last month demanding answers. His office tells us tonight Jackson hasn't deigned to respond. Joining us now, the couple at the center of all of this, Mike and Chantel Sackett, and I must say, looking great out there in Seattle, Washington, their attorney, Damian Schiff of the Pacific Legal Foundation, who argued their case successfully before the U.S. Supreme Court. Damon, good to have you all here. I wanted you guys to tell me, Matt, that you've built your dream home, everything's happy, and you're moving ahead. Why not?
Well, Lou, again, thank you. Thank everybody at Fox for having us on, and the Pacific Legal Foundation. And Lou, we wish we could explain why we couldn't. We're in settlement agreement, or trying to get settlement agreement with EPA right now, and we can't really talk about those details. It's 5 years that we've lived this nightmare, and we fought for everyone else in this country besides ourselves, and it would just seem like that after a 9-0 unanimous decision that we could get some type of decision so we can get on with our life. It's destroyed our company, it's almost destroyed our marriage, and you would think it's time for the EPA to let us get on with our life.
Well, Chantel, I mean, you're not in Seattle for the happiest of reasons. I mean, because as Mike says, you've lost your business. You have to seek work outside where you have lived. I mean, what's your next step?
Well, Lou, we're going to keep fighting. I mean, we would like to get some type of decision so that we can move forward. But if we can't come to some type of decision with the EPA, we're prepared to go back to district court and fight them. This is important for everybody in the country. Like you said, if they're going to treat business as usual, there's a lot of people out there suffering at the hands of the EPA still.
Do you think right now that there are EPA officials who are sitting there looking at Mike and Chantel Sackett and they're saying, see, we taught them a lesson. That's what happens when a citizen confronts a powerful agency, which is a rogue agency. It doesn't appear to give much of a damn about your quality of life, your rights, or the United States Supreme Court.
Well, Lou, we would sure hope that there isn't that many bad apples in the EPA. We would hope that there's.
I didn't say how many, but I said do you think there are any?
Well, I don't know. It just, you would think that.
Well, you don't think that a bunch of nice guys would have driven you guys as they have to the point that you find yourselves. Let me turn to your attorney because I can sense your discomfort, and I understand it. Damian, I mean, what in the world is the federal government doing? The Supreme Court has made a ruling, and the EPA appears to have told them to go to hell.
Well, Lou, you talk about bad apples in the EPA. We saw just a few months ago one of the lead EPA administrators, Al Armendariz, down in Texas, was quoted as saying that his approach to enforcement was
crucifixion. We've got other examples. I mean, we've got EPA agents walking in armed into citizens' homes. I mean, we've got crazy stuff. What I'm asking you, Damian, is what in the world are you going to have to do here to restore the Sacketts, their rights, their property, and their dream?
Well, as the Sacketts mentioned, we're going to keep on fighting for them. We hope that we can resolve the case and that the Sacketts can ultimately build their home. But it's, at this point, not just about the Sacketts, but all the other landowners in this country who have been beaten up by EPA. It's critical that the agency understand that a 9-0 loss in the Supreme Court means something, that they've got to change the way they go about enforcing the law. They've got to respect the rights of American citizens.
Okay, I'm with you. And by the way, we all heard the same decision. The audience of this broadcast knows the Sacketts, know you, know what you've gone through, and what happens now. Because what I'm hearing is, frankly, empty rhetoric. We're talking about a man and woman's lives. We're talking about their rights as citizens, and I hear nothing but indifference. I see, that, God bless Senator Inhofe and the 16 senators joining him, but it's a letter. It is an action. And this is getting to be just about, it's gut-wrenching to watch this happen in this great country. What are you going to do? What happens? What do we do? Damien?
Well, I think it's essential that we follow up with our victory in the Supreme Court. We continue to litigate on behalf of Americans who are beaten up. But ultimately, I think it lies to Congress. Congress is the power in this country that can legislate, that can change the law.
Lord, Damien, you know what? Americans are getting worn out with this stuff about the Congress this and the Senate that and letters to that and law. The United States Supreme Court has ruled, and there is no practical effect. Am I wrong?
Well, there certainly is a real practical effect in that at least now Mike and Chantel have their right to their day in court. And that's something that not only did they not have, but nobody else in this country had when EPA had issued one of these orders. So that is definitely a positive movement.
That's a positive development. It isn't resolution. And the thing that, what is happening and is I believe, tearing this country apart, is when two American citizens can be sitting there, the Supreme Court has ruled, and they aren't one whit better off. There's something wrong with that. And it's taken 5 years to get to a positive development. This isn't a legal system. This is excruciating torture that is, frankly, there's nothing American about what we're watching happen to the Sacketts or to the country. Damien Schiff, thanks for being with us. Mike, Chantel, we wish all the best. We're going to talk with you throughout this. Let's see if we can make something happen here. You certainly deserve
Thanks,
it.
Lou.
The country deserves it. All right, Damien, thank you very much.